it was a fine line to dance to
I
not
bet.
fully get myself canceled. I did manage to get a pretty good cancel campaign launched at Element, and it's people that interestingly had been kicked out of CrossFit the same time that I was, had experienced a cancel campaign from CrossFit. So it was folks that I would have never dreamt that they would do this, because this had been done to them. But and this is an opinion piece, but I feel confident that it's accurate. These folks had really bought into the kind of virtue signaling Olympics pretty early into all of that stuff, and they had gained some out of that. And so we had sponsored some people like JP Sears and some other folks that were, asking some questions and doing satire. And when you look back through history, people who do satire are always the first ones to get silenced. Like always. And the interesting thing about good satire is when you're making fun of evil, it's pretty damn funny. Like it's hard. It's hard to make satire that doesn't just flop like some sort of a North Korean like propaganda reel when you're trying to portray the truth as something other than what it is, And so like, some people like JP, he was asking some really pointed questions, and because we had sponsored him, we had a pretty vigorous campaign go after. They went after him, but they had people that devoted weeks of their lives to tracking down anybody that had sponsored him, anything like that, and then going after those entities. And so we had a pretty good cancel campaign that went after Element. And it was interesting watching the team kind of rally around that. And also there was some interesting awakening that occurred, because some of our team, I think it would be honest to say that they came from a little bit more the woke side of the spectrum. And I don't think that's being critical or mean or anything. And people understand what you're saying when you say that. What was interesting is for those folks being on the receiving end of this kind of mob mentality was an incredible education for them. So that was interesting. Like it both brought us together as a team, but it also really helped us to delineate some value systems for us. And one of the primary ones was literally first do no harm, And so any type of a social discussion, if we're talking about like kids and what they're exposed to, whether it's health or ideology or whatever, if there's some potential harm wrapped up in that, then we are not signing off on that. And we will, if we get canceled to the point of the company ends, so be it. Like we're gonna fight that fight. And so that was cool. It was scary, but it was cool. And what's been fascinating about that, man, is we stood our ground, and we had a very moral based approach to this. And funny enough, it was, there was morality, but it was based off of this paper, The Hallmarks of Health, which breaks health into these 8 different quadrants. And really the 2 quadrants get broken down into resilience and integrity. And the integrity is that you let certain things in and out, like a cell membrane. Its function is to protect the integrity of the cell. And you want some things in, you want some things out. You don't just let everything come willy-nilly. And then resilience, like some things will get in that you don't want in, and you need to be adaptable to dealing with that and make yourself become stronger because of that challenge. And this is exercise and fasting and all that. We become stronger from that process. But what is interesting is Element has been made to be a really powerful entity because of those challenges that we had to deal with. But I feel like we had a good moral compass, and we had this really cool biology-centric model for how to deal with the world, because I think that all this stuff is self-similar at all levels. Like the things that govern a cell govern a society in many regards. You need integrity, you need resilience, you need to be adaptable, all that type of stuff. And it's been a blessing in disguise in a lot of ways, but I still have a bit of a chapped ass at the treatment that we had along the way from some folks, for sure. But in the end, it has only been of benefit to us. Like we've been able to take those challenges and really turn them to our benefit, which has been awesome.
That shows as I've listened to some of the episodes. So I would love to spend more time there, but I kind of want to run things forward a little bit and see how this has played out in the topics that you've explored. I listened to your episode about central bank digital currencies. It starts like this awakening that happened for so many people in so many different ways in 2020 has borne some incredible fruit of the things that we all went through, and we've all started asking questions that I don't think that we expected to. So let's run this forward a little bit as you're encountering like the Canadian truckers, you're starting to look into money. Was that on you said you had an awareness of existential threats prior to COVID, but was the question about the Fed and inflation and was that on your radar at the time and centralizing currency, or did that show up after the COVID experience?
No, that's been on my radar for a long time, and both to my benefit and my detriment. I've followed Ron Paul for a long time, read The Creature from Jekyll Island ages ago.
Okay.
And so I've been waiting for the wheels to fall off the wagon for a long time.
Got it.
2010, I was like, oh, we're going to have this massive, financial implosion. And oh my goodness, all this debt. How could we sustain this debt, But what I haven't appreciated is that there's never been a global reserve currency the way the dollar exists now in the reach. Like there have been reserve currencies, but like the dollar has been powerful, and the United States is incredibly powerful. As many problems as we have, we still are this amazing economic engine and have all this vibrancy and everything. And so what I didn't appreciate is how resilient that system is. That system will fail. It will. But the question is it 30 seconds, 30 days, 30 years, from now that it's going to fail? Because so many people have incentives to keep the thing going forward. But when you look at the hockey stick debt story, after COVID, it's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing.